Diddy's attorney, Mark K. Eggio, has released a statement addressing allegations made by Kim Porter against Diddy in her leaked memoir. The tapes, titled Kim's Lost Words, contain details of physical abuse, sexual coercion, and other acts of violence Combs allegedly committed against Kim. The tapes, which are currently a bestseller on Amazon, are filled with typos and a pseudonym. The book contains alleged first-hand accounts and notes from Kim about Diddy, including a quote that broke Diddy's heart forever. Diddy's lawyer calls the alleged memoir fake and offensive. This marks the first time Quincy Christian and the twins Jesse and Delilah have spoken out since their father's arrest. The tapes are a bestseller on Amazon and have been denounced by Diddy's family. The cause of Kim Porter's death has been established as natural causes from lobar pneumonia, an infection of the lungs. Diddy's relationship with Kim Porter lasted almost 2 decades, starting in the early 1990s and ending in 2007. 11 years later, in 2018, Kim Porter died of pneumonia. However, her death was suspicious from the start, and Diddy immediately started talking about how much he loved her, the people around him. Diddy claimed that his relationship with Kim Porter was abusive, using her for sexual activity and making deals with other men. He used Kim for parties with his girlfriend and other guys, who switched up their lifestyles and partied together. Courtney Burgess submitted an unedited copy of Kim Porter's memoir to the FBI, along with 8 freak-off tapes and 11 flash drives. Courtney claims that he was given these tapes by Kim Porter before her death and handed them over to the FBI after being subpoenaed in a federal case. Kim Porter allegedly provided details of how Diddy was carrying out his trafficking in her book. Now, this book is in the hands of the prosecutors. The tapes include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. After testifying before the grand jury, Burgess answered what he could given the limitations imposed on him. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, many appeared to be either inebriated or under the influence of drugs. Many of them were victims or perpetrators, and they were inebriated without knowing the extent of proof in their actions. A hearing is now set to determine what documents will be turned over and what documents we do not have to turn over. The investigation into Diddy's relationship with Kim Porter continues, with the FBI seeking to determine what documents will be turned over and what documents we do not have to turn over. In court today, the speaker was subdued by the court and was brought to give testimony to the grand jury. The marshals arrived at the speaker's house and brought him to the courthouse. The speaker mentioned some celebrities in an interview, but they cannot mention them. They are trying to discuss what was on the flash drive before and what was available. The speaker mentioned that some of the people Diddy was forcing Cassie to have sex with have also come out in May 2018. Jonathan AI was arrested in connection to a shooting at Trump's National Doral golf course in Miami. During an interrogation into his attempt to shoot up Trump's golf course, he mentioned that Diddy was using him as a slave, and the gay mafia in Hollywood was forcing him to commit crimes. The speaker also mentioned that Diddy had about 15 encounters with Cassie and Sean, and he would masturbate. He had about 15 encounters with Cassie and Sean, and he heard a lot hidden in plain sight. Diddy's attorney has allegedly interviewed more than 49 witnesses who will be called to stand against Diddy. And in his own words, the prosecutors don't have any tapes. The speaker's defense is well established as they have interviewed many men who are being brought into Mr. Collins's intimate situation. They have flown around the country and interviewed a large number of them, and there is no evidence of coercive or non-consensual behavior. The conversation revolves around the 10-year relationship between Diddy and Cassie, and the speaker feels confident in their position. The speaker also mentioned that the woman who is not available to the speaker is presumably a grand jury witness. They would not be able to provide her testimony without the information provided by the court. The government is investigating allegations of sex trafficking and racketeering at the all-white parties hosted by rapper Tiesto, who was once known for his boisterous personality. The indictment alleges that these events were recorded and used as blackmail, with electronic evidence such as over 90 cell phones, laptops, iCloud storage accounts, 30 hard drives, and thumb drives. Diddy, once known for hosting great parties, has been accused of having alleged freak-offs, elaborate and produced sex performances. These events were first mentioned in Cassie's federal civil lawsuit, which was filed in November last year. The suit claims that Diddy would repeatedly ask Cassie at random moments if he wanted a freak off or a foe, and she was expected to facilitate the location and hiring of male SE workers. During their relationship, Diddy would insist on an FO weekly, often taking place in hotel suites, and would require Cassie and his staff to help him make these arrangements. A video of Diddy physically assaulting Cassie in 2016 leaked to CNN led other victims to speak out and detail the abuse they went through at the hands of Diddy and his co-conspirators. Talia Graves, one of Diddy's alleged victims, has filed a 26-page lawsuit naming Diddy and his bodyguard, Joseph Sherman, as defendants. Graves recounts a horrific and violent assault, claiming that she was lured to the studio under false pretenses and given a drink spiked with drugs. She claims she was restrained and being brutally assaulted by Diddy and his bodyguard. Talia Graves alleges that Diddy Combs and his former bodyguard Joseph Sherman drugged and raped her at Bad Boys Record Studio in 2001 when she was 25 years old. She claims that she was restrained and being brutally assaulted by Diddy and his bodyguard. Combs is facing at least 10 similar lawsuits and remains locked up awaiting trial on human trafficking and racketeering charges. Talia has not gone public yet because she was threatened to ruin her life if she said anything. The allegations continue to escalate, with more than 100 new lawsuits being filed against Diddy and his co-conspirators. A new batch of over 100 lawsuits have been filed against rapper Tiesto, allegedly related to minors. The lawsuits were brought by Houston-based personal injury lawyer Tony Busby, who claims that some of the alleged victims include minors who were abused when they were as young as 9 years old, since the day Diddy was indicted for sex trafficking and racketeering. Diddy's team claims the allegations are meritless, but Busby says his upcoming lawsuits will be naming names. He also mentions that there are many names that will shock the public, including complicit bystanders, those who watched the behavior occur and did nothing, and those who participated and encouraged it. The defendants in the lawsuits include banks, pharmaceutical companies, hotels, and corporate entities that profited off of the culture and behavior. Banks, pharmaceutical companies, hotels, and other companies that were sponsors of some of these parties and after parties are among the entities involved. Leonardo DiCaprio is the #1 on the invitation list, and he is expected to be on the list. Out of 120 cases that Busby intends to file, there is an expectation that there will be more cases than that. The behavior that took place over more than 25 years across the United States, primarily in New York, California, and Miami, has led to the exposure of many people involved with Diddy. The focus is on the individuals who allegedly aided in the tampering with Diddy and his twisted little escapades. The celebrities involved in the behavior will be named, but the real concern is those who profited off of the culture that ruined hundreds of lives. This includes banks, record executives, record companies, and other companies that were sponsors of some of these parties. The conduct at these parties was wild, nasty, and subjected many victims to exploitation and sexual conduct. Busby hopes that more alleged victims come forward, and that everyone who was complicit in this will pay a price if they are found guilty. Ashton Kutcher, a former regular at Diddy parties and directly involved with Jay-Z, has recently spoken out about his potential move out of Hollywood. This is concerning, especially considering that Kutcher has publicly come forward in support of convicted rapist Danny Masterson in 2023. Many celebrities are worried about their involvement with Diddy due to the actions he took towards participants at his parties. Allegedly, both drinks and baby oil at Diddy's parties were spiked with GHB and ecstasy to make guests more open to doing things they normally wouldn't do. Kevin Hart, who was involved in a recent video, is accused of being drugged by others. He was caught on tape allegedly promoting a sexy scene in the bathroom at a party hosted by Puffy. The video shows Hart running into the camera, causing a fire in his hair, and he almost fell in the tub with one of the girls. The internet is going wild on him, claiming he was a curator and narrator of one of the Diddy parties and got caught on tape. Kevin Hart is known for his flammable hair and his ability to save himself from the flames. He has been accused of being involved in illegal activities, but it is important to remember that people who get caught up in these situations don't go there looking for anything illegal. They get caught up in the moment with alcohol or drugs and may end up doing something they never do again in their lives. In conclusion, celebrities like Ashton Kutcher, Danny Masterson, and Kevin Hart have been raised to question their involvement with Diddy and the potential consequences of their actions. It is crucial to remember that many celebrities are not involved in illegal activities and should be cautious of the potential consequences of their actions. The music industry is facing a wave of lawsuits, with two of the biggest celebrities, Jay-Z and Nima, being named in the cases. Ashton Kutcher has agreed to testify, while others are gearing up to flee the country. This could lead to an isolated one-off case for Jay-Z or a Me Too situation where other victims come forward. Tony Busby, the lawyer bringing over 36 lawsuits against Diddy, has revealed a long list of people involved with Diddy, who helped cover up the abuse he was carrying out and sometimes participated in. The allegations against Diddy are piling up, and the newly uncovered footage has left his attorneys scrambling for answers. Kim Porter's memoir, shocking tapes, and witness testimonies are now in the hands of prosecutors. The truth may finally catch up to Diddy as more names come to light and the public demands accountability. The case is far from over, and it is unclear whether justice will prevail or if Diddy's power, and influence will keep him out of reach. Tony Busby's lawyer, Nima Ron, believes that more celebrity names will be tied to these lawsuits, as they may not be big names at first, but have a long list of names. Due diligence is being done to avoid making allegations without doing due diligence, as public filings are in fact public in the United States and almost every state. As more names come to light and the public demands accountability, it is clear that the case is far from over.